Look at, if you cross out everything else, you don't look what's happened in the past, you don't look what's in the forward, you just look at that team.
Many are calling this game against Wisconsin the biggest test of the season. We're cramming for a W.
I think the speculation is whether or not they'll bring Clapper and Brennan in front of a hearing.
One-on-one with President Trump.
I think they're very bad people.
From impeachment to immigration and international relations, the commander-in-chief sits down for an ABC 6 exclusive.
Baking a career.
I just turned 18 about 2 months ago.
One of Central Ohio's hottest pastry chefs is also its youngest. We're serving up her story next at 5.
But first, a new look at a horrible wreck. Could a stoplight have prevented this from happening? Neighbors say yes. We're on your side now.
ABC 6 News at 5 starts with this breaking news alert.
Breaking news as we come on the air tonight. We're going to take you live to Washington, D.C., where about an hour ago, a judge ruled the Department of Justice must hand over some redacted information from the special counsel's Russia investigation. This includes secret grand jury testimony that hasn't been made public. Our one-on-one exclusive interview with President Trump, including his thoughts on the investigation, coming your way at 5:30.
Also breaking at this hour, less than 15 minutes ago, GM workers approving a new contract. Now that means their 40-day strike is coming to an end. Tens of thousands of workers, including many across the state of Ohio, will be back on the job. A majority of those union members voted for the plan. Some union members say GM not committing to reopening closed plants like the one in Lordstown was the reason they voted against it. And new video into the newsroom tonight of this week's serious car wreck in South Columbus. A number of kids waiting for the school bus were hit by an SUV when it went onto the sidewalk. Now this new look comes from officers' body cams on the scene.
For some people, it may be difficult to watch, but for neighbors and people involved in that crash, they say it shows the need to get a traffic light at that intersection. Luann Stoy is on your side tonight. Luann?
Well, we just got this body camera video into the newsroom. As officers rush to the scene, you get a sense of how scary it was for those children who were just waiting for their ride to school. A police officer runs toward the crowd of people trying to help injured children.
Just relax. You get hit in the leg, hon? Is that where you got hit?
Take a look at the video captured by the neighborhood camera mounted on a pole at Whittier and Champion. You see two vehicles colliding at the intersection. A vehicle northbound on Champion pulled out in front of a car traveling east on Whittier. One of the cars is pushed off the road and up onto the sidewalk.
I'm trying to swerve around them to go around, and it wasn't important.
Bruce Prowell was driving the maroon car. His 5- and 7-year-old daughters were buckled into their seats but had minor injuries.
I think putting the lights there would most definitely make that a lot safer. And crosswalks, I mean, why not put crosswalks there?
Neighbors tell us there used to be a traffic light there. During the first 6 months of this year, there have been 11 crashes at the intersection. In this case, 4 children were taken to the hospital this week with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, they are all released to their families. And I talked with the mother of one of the 10-year-old boys whose leg was seriously hurt in that crash. She tells me she's heartbroken over what happened, and she hopes the city will do something to improve that area. By the way, the child is doing well. He just got out of the hospital, and he was home today playing video games. Rodney Terry.
All right, thank you, Luann. And tonight, a Columbus family telling us it was a terrible accident that took the life of their little boy on the northeast side just this afternoon.
Police are investigating at a mobile home park on Barr Street. That's not too far from Easton. They were called out there around noon today. We're told the 2-year-old got his head stuck in a bucket of water and was pronounced at Nationwide Children's Hospital. Detectives tell us the initial investigation shows this was an accident. A family friend talked with Luann Stoya about what happened.
Nobody wants to lose a child.
Yes.
Difficult, difícil.
Muy difícil, extra difícil. Yes. Gracias.
CPD's homicide unit is investigating. An autopsy will be done on the child. The boy is a twin, and he had 2 other siblings at home at the time of the drowning. Thousands of high school students rallying to break the stigma that Ohio should not be known for the opioid crisis. Instead, these kids want you to know that they're making a pledge to be drug-free. Jackie Orozco has more.
Thousands of students gathering right here at the Ross County Courthouse steps to make that pledge to be drug-free, and that pledge a very personal one for many. Cheers, dancing, and smiles. These high school kids are celebrating their achievements of being drug-free.
I think it's really important, especially being in Chillicothe, Ohio. We have so much bad rep for drugs. We want to change the standards. We want to change what people think of us.
So they're marching, making sure the world hears them and sees them as members of the Ross County Drug-Free Clubs of America. This year, it's bigger than ever before.
We have a lot more schools coming from Pickaway County, Springfield-Clark, Gallia County, and Sauter County. So there'll be a total of about in Highland County and Pike County. So we'll have about a total of 18 schools here.
It's also a chance for them to share their pain.
When I was 6 years old, my dad got addicted to drugs, and it really affected me.
Keep coming around the back.
Letting others know they're not alone. Help is always nearby.
Don't give up. You still have the same worth as people that aren't on drugs. You're still the same person. You're just being controlled by something you can't control. You just need to get help and get your way through it. There's people out there that will help you.
Next year, organizers hope to break another record by having even more kids come out to pledge to be drug-free. In Chillicothe, Jackie Orozco, ABC 6 News.
Developing tonight, a long, disturbing list of reports detailing complaints administrators at Ohio University got regarding hazing. All of it coming just as the university was in the process of lifting restrictions on some fraternities and sororities on campus.
Kaylee Gunderson has been sifting through some of those documents. She joins us now in the studio. And Kaylee, what stands out to you the most?
Well, Terry, Rodney, out of this stack of complaints, there are claims of students being beaten, experiencing sleep deprivation, feeling forced to do drugs, and strain on their mental health. At this point, these are only allegations, of course, but certainly alarming to read. Pages of detailed claims against fraternities, sororities, and clubs. One report details what is called Hell Week during fraternity pledging, where pledges would be interrogated and locked in a basement for days, keeping them from homework, sleeping at home, or bathing, only allowing them to leave for class. Another report from a sorority alumnae says Chi Omega specifically forced girls to do drugs every rush, and the hazing she experienced resulted in a broken bone, bullying, and depression. Another OU grad said she had to be hospitalized and eventually dropped out of school. An allegation about the men's rugby team details a student being forced to drink a bottle of alcohol, strip naked, and then continue drinking. And on top of students' claims, many of these reports are from concerned university staff and parents who said they got calls from their student on the way to the hospital after a hazing incident. Now here's a list of the student organizations that remained under a cease and desist order from the university. A full list, though, of those organizations which have had restrictions modified or lifted is available on our website, abc6onyourside.com. The university has said that while leadership is confident in this decision to modify some of those restrictions, this process is ongoing and the university will continue to either lift or impose restrictions as more or different information comes in. And again, these are only allegations.
You can also read the full report on the free ABC6 app. In total, there are 35 pages of documents. Now, if you want that app, search WSYX in your app store. And happening right now, California is under a state of emergency. Tonight, wildfires impacting large parts of that state. Marcy Gonzalez is in one of the hardest hit communities.
Yet another wildfire igniting in Southern California. The Sade fire now burning in San Diego County. People given just minutes to evacuate.
Please don't delay and get out of that area.
North of Los Angeles, several fires raging out of control. The largest, the Tick Fire, scorching more than 4,000 acres, destroying homes and threatening thousands more.
I've never seen anything this bad.
Flames jumping this freeway overnight. Firefighters struggling to get an upper hand as powerful Santa Ana winds with gusts up to 70 miles an hour erratically spread burning embers.
When we saw it, It's surreal.
And in Northern California, a relentless battle against the massive Kincaid fire.
Also, possible power lines down in the area.
We're now learning the more than 21,000-acre inferno, which destroyed at least 49 homes, started beneath a power transmission tower left activated by the utility company PG&E, despite widespread preemptive blackouts ahead of the extreme fire danger.
We became aware of a transmission level outage in the area of the fire.
And more outages could be on the way because while the powerful winds you can really see blowing through what's left of the second floor of this home are expected to calm down in this area later today, Northern California is bracing for its strongest wind event in years starting this weekend. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Santa Clarita, California.
And another problem for California, the wet season usually doesn't begin until after the Rose Bowl out there in California. Here, if you're going out to a high school game tonight, temperatures are cool, mid-50s to around 60 degrees. There's a little bit more of a damp chill in the air because the humidity is coming up. It's cloudy, but it is going to be dry for these high school games, 55 degrees by 9 o'clock. Check this out. Look at all the rain spreading north from the Gulf of Mexico, and that has just been named Olga. A tropical storm has formed in the Gulf of Mexico. It is aimed towards Chicago in the next 48 hours. So that's going to increase the rain here in the Ohio Valley this weekend.
All right, thanks, Jim. The Badgers are ready for the Buckeyes tomorrow and want to prove their loss last week was just a fluke. A full preview of the big game in just 3 minutes.
And there's a new mentorship program aimed at helping women get a degree, the ways it gives them a chance to do something they thought was never possible.
Tonight, the U.S. has just banned nearly all of its flights to Cuba. It's the latest in a series of moves by President Trump to roll back the progress between the two countries. Moving forward, U.S. flights will only be allowed to and from the Cuban capital city of Havana. The White House says this change is to prevent tourism in Cuba, which is banned by U.S. law.
All right, and the football fever going behind enemy lines tonight. Wisconsin admitting last week's upset loss to Illinois was a wake-up call.
As the Fever's Clay Hall reports, star running back Jonathan Taylor says the Badgers will not be defined by that defeat.
Illinois was a 30-point underdog to the Badgers in Champaign. Wisconsin can't afford another loss if they want to stay in the Big Ten and the national championship race.
Yeah, coming off a loss, guys are definitely, refocused and kind of a wake-up call like, hey, we need to make sure we get our stuff together because, you can't be defined by a loss, so we got to make sure that we're able to get right back on track.
6-1 Wisconsin might fall into the best defense is a good offense cliche. They lead the nation in time of possession, so keeping the Bucs' Justin Fields off the field would be huge.
They got unbelievable players at every position. They really have no weaknesses on defense, so it's going to be a great challenge for us.
I want to say J.J. Watt tweeted out a year before how there's more 3-stars in the NFL than there are 5-stars. So we don't necessarily pay attention to that. That's for everybody else to pay attention to. When you get to college, at the end of the day, you're a Division I football player, and you prepare for everybody else the same way.
And the Badgers want the Buckeyes to feel like they did a week ago in Champaign.
All you can do is, as you get closer to the game, is just go and be aggressive as you can and go fight as hard as you can and just be the competitor that, when you used to play, that's what you do.
And they'll try to do it better than the Badgers Saturday at noon. At Ohio State, I'm Clay Hall for the Football Fever.
And coming up tomorrow on The Football Fever, we are catching up with former Buckeye Ty Howard. The former cornerback sits down with our Maria Durant and talks about the personal reason he became a Buckeye. He also shares his memorable moments with us. Here's just one, and it happened during the Michigan game.
I took it personal and it was downright disrespectful that, he's getting announced for putting in 4 years at a great university and the Michigan players disrespecting him. Now, we lost the game, but the takeaway was, to this day, right, Greg Bellasoy is my brother. My
Where are they now?
professional
Only
awards.
on the Football Fever, the pregame show. It's tomorrow morning at 11 on ABC 6.
And of course, do not forget, you can join me, Clay, Maria, and the rest of the Football Fever team tomorrow morning. We're the best tailgate crew that you can get. The pregame show starts at 11 a.m. right here on ABC 6. And we'll take you up to noon kickoff against Wisconsin over on Fox 28. And then tune in for the postgame show at 11 p.m. right back here on ABC 6.
Ronnie, it's a good thing you'll be in the studio tomorrow.
Yes, it will
It's
be,
gonna be a
a
little
lot
wet.
different, definitely.
It's just so upsetting. We only have a handful of days. We want it nice to play football in the shoe. And we're in a moderate drought, and it hasn't rained all fall. And we're faced
And it's been
with
90.
this. I know, and it's now Olga added to the mix, which is going to throw more and more moisture our way. It was just the snowstorm in the Rockies to begin with.
Yeah.
Moving our way now, we're throwing a tropical system.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it ends up being a blowout, I'm sure the fans won't worry about a little rain.
That's
They'll be
true.
happy
Yeah,
either
they
way
were
it goes.
tough.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so, huh? So, if you're going to go to the horseshoe tomorrow, it's going to rain. Wind won't pick up until nighttime or Sunday, and that is when the actual storm system gets closer to us by Chicago. It's going to be kind of interesting. 56 degrees at kickoff. Post game will be 62. Then the temperatures are going to stay up Saturday night and into Sunday morning because of strong southerly winds. So it's still going to be 62 by 8 o'clock Saturday night, 56 Sunday morning. Notice the rain chances do go down for us on Sunday. What a gorgeous view of central Ohio with the trees. It is 60 degrees. The northwest wind is at 6 miles per hour. 54 in Bucyrus, 53 in Kenton. Everybody else is close to 60. More uniform today because of the uniform cloud cover over the area. And the hour by hour does keep us dry through the night. 6 a.m. it's 48. 8 a.m. it'll also be about 48. So satellite and radar has the overcast, but it's good for high school football tonight. The rain is still primarily south of the river. So what is going to happen? Well, here is 6 a.m. Saturday morning. It'll still be cloudy here. Boom, there's kickoff with showers, but notice the very heaviest of rain will be in Indiana by noon. This is sort of like a warm front coming through, and there will be a gap in the rain late afternoon and into the evening hours with the main storm center west by Chicago, but it will drag more rain. This might even have some thunder in it for southeastern sections of Ohio Sunday morning as it moves on through. We dry out during the day on Sunday. So what about rainfall? You know, this isn't going to be good. So not much up until noon, and then we'll scream it up to 2 inches or more for Fort Wayne, 3 inches for Indianapolis, a ½ inch by 2 o'clock Sunday. Most places around us could get close to an inch of rain, but keep in mind there will be a gap in the rain later in the day tomorrow and into the evening tomorrow night between the two fronts. So overcast, damp, more humidity, 47 degrees tonight. During the day tomorrow, 62 with near constant rain, a raw, damp day, south winds at 10 to 20 miles an hour. We do dry out some on Sunday. Notice for Halloween, the temperatures start to drop 54 and 32. It's when we get to 32 at night that we could see a few flakes of snow to round out the month of October.
All right, thank you, Jim. Ahead tonight, for just the second time since the impeachment investigation started, President Trump sitting down for a one-on-one interview exclusively with ABC 6. His thoughts on that investigation, that's all new at 5:30.
A new mentorship program aims to educate, empower, and elevate women to make a difference in the community. The major difference for one woman here in Central Ohio.
And this one pretty interesting. Coming up at 6, the president of an Ohio college is getting death threats over lambs. Yeah, lambs. We hear from both sides of this fight getting national attention tonight. It's all a part of a program sponsored by the United Way.
Maria Durant shows us the transformation that it's made for one local woman.
Thanks to the United Way and the E3 program, one woman is getting a new lease on life, and she's going back to school. It's been a 3-year journey so far, but next May, Shadina Carter will graduate from Ohio Dominican University.
I'm a double major in risk management and insurance, as well as business administration with a minor in nonprofit management.
Carter says she's always wanted to go back to school.
The grandbaby.
But because of bad life choices, she never thought it would happen until the single mom and recovering addict discovered United Way's Women's Leadership Council E3 program.
There are women who want to change. There are people who want to change.
E3 stands for Educate, Empower, and Elevate. It helps women reach their dreams of getting a degree by pairing them with a mentor.
We sorted out prior school loan debt issues, child care problems, housing challenges. But I think that the whole purpose of it was to allow her to know that no matter what, somebody believed in her.
Yes, that's the one I have. That's the one I have. That empowerment has helped Carter transform. On the outside, yes, she lost more than 200 pounds after surgery. But more importantly, on the inside.
And it's continuing to change. In a positive way. It's built up my self-esteem.
Giving her hope to reach her goals.
I work full-time, go to school full-time. I'm a full-time mother. I volunteer and give time back. I am now a proud donor to United Way out of my paycheck. I just clicked the button last week.
Bettering her life and others. In Columbus, I'm Maria Durant, ABC 6 News.
She is a rock star.
Definitely.
E3 is one of the 80 different nonprofit programs supported by the United Way of Central Ohio that helps people meet basic needs, achieve student success, and get good jobs.
Which is all important. Of course, if you would like more information on this program and how to get involved, simply head on over to our website and look for this story.
Senator Lindsey Graham has, 50 senators now who
I
say...
hear he's got 50 before we even make any phone calls.
All new at 5:30, President Trump in an interview you'll see only on ABC 6.
The impeachment inquiry going into overtime with a rare Saturday deposition here on Capitol Hill. I'm Scott Thuman in Washington with a look at the controversy surrounding weekend proceedings.
And check this out. Here's a live look outside right now. Ahead, Jim will let you know when to break out that hood at the Buckeye game tomorrow.
ABC 6 News at 5 on your side starts now.
It's a disgrace for our country. It hurts us internationally. It hurts us within the country.
He's not doing a lot of TV appearances these days, but President Trump is talking about the impeachment investigation in an exclusive interview with us tonight.
But first on Capitol Hill, the big decision in the House is focused on the next step in the impeachment inquiry.
Lawmakers are taking the rare step, of course, of working on a Saturday as a part of this investigation. But as Scott Thuman explains, even that is stirring a bit of controversy.
The fight over impeachment seeing new feuds. A rare Saturday deposition of State Department official Philip Reeker prompted the latest complaint, Republicans arguing the unusual weekend testimony was chosen by Democrats to, quote, further limit member attendance. Next week, they're to hear from Tim Morrison, the first White House official to talk about what he heard on that controversial phone call, and some media report former National Security Advisor John Bolton could follow.
I'm not here to tell you that Donald Trump's done nothing wrong. I'm not here to tell you anything other than that the way they're going about it is really dangerous for the country.
But if there's a sign tensions over impeachment are growing, this was it. Republican leaders, angry some aren't allowed to take part, made their way into the secure hearing room anyway, halting procedures.
It was like watching cockroaches scatter when you turn the lights on. They don't want people to see the facts, that they want to do as much of this in private as they possibly can.
It was theatrics, and it's not coincidental that they did it the day after we had that damning testimony. This process is just like it's worked in the past.
Though Democrats say by mid-November the process may no longer be behind closed doors, it could be public, must-see TV, broadcast for everyone to watch, and appear confident from this week's witnesses they're unearthing information damaging to the president.
It was the most detailed and specific testimony we have heard about the holding up of military aid.
You saw Lindsey Graham in that piece. He also admitted that the White House and the president's defenders need to do a better job managing the messaging in all of this, especially considering this past week marked 1 month since the impeachment inquiry began. On Capitol Hill, I'm Scott Thuman.
President Trump has some thoughts on the impeachment inquiry. You may have seen the tweets, but now you'll hear exactly what's on his mind. America This Week's Eric Bolling spoke with him just a couple of hours ago. It's an ABC6 exclusive.
Some big news. The Department of Justice said that they're going to open up a criminal investigation into what went on during the 2016 campaign, the election. What do you think they'll find?
Well, I think they're going to find a lot. I think it was disgraceful what went on. You saw what went on. You were watching it very closely, and you have an eye for it. And I'm not involved in it from the standpoint of it's not my mandate, but it's obviously Bill Barr's mandate. He's a great attorney general, and a lot of terrible things, I would say, happened, and they're going to find out.
You know, I think the speculation is whether or not they'll bring Clapper and Brennan in front of a hearing, and will we ever hear that testimony?
Well, I'm not going to comment other than to say I think they're very bad people, and I think they were very bad for the country, but we'll see what they find. Whatever they find, they find. There are a lot of others, too. You look at McCabe, you look at Comey, look at that report on Comey, 78 pages of kill, how bad it was, and probably went all the way to the top.
Do you think Adam Schiff collaborated, colluded, whatever, with this whistleblower?
He's a very bad guy. He's doing anything they can to find something. This started from before I even got elected, this whole horrible situation with impeachment. It's a dirty word to me. It's a very dirty word. I had a perfect conversation in the current case, but I've been fighting this for 3 years. I mean, I've been fighting this from, if you look at it, I guess it started long before I even got elected with the two lovers, with Strzok and Page, and the insurance policy. Remember, if she loses, we have an insurance policy. The insurance policy is we're going to go get them. It's a disgrace for our country. It hurts us internationally. It hurts us within the country. And it's a very sad thing. It's really, and I'm very happy. When I read the papers this morning, I was extremely happy.
Now, something else happened recently. Senator Lindsey Graham has, 50 senators now who say...
I hear he's got 50 before we even make any phone calls.
What is, the Graham resolution is what?
Well, basically, he's saying it's a very unfair process. And I'll go a step further. I was with Tim Scott, who's a fantastic man. I was with others, and they're saying, well, you know, the process is one thing, but he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, forget about process. I didn't do anything wrong. And I didn't. But again, I fought off the Russia hoax. I fought off the Mueller hoax. I fought off all of them. And it continues. It's just crazy. This has never happened to a president before.
And you can watch the entire exclusive one-on-one interview on America This Week. That'll be streaming this weekend on our website and the free ABC6 app.
Well, it's dry for high school football games tonight, at least that we can promise you. Temperatures aren't bad either, 59 degrees at 7 and 55 at 9, and it's not terribly windy. Everybody's in the mid-50s to around 60 at this hour, and the rain is still to the south of the Ohio River. It's not going to stay there, though. It's eventually going to head our way and really, really mess up our weekend. Saturday into Sunday with 1 to 2 inches of rain here, much more in Illinois and Indiana. Now, we're in a moderate drought, so we did need the rain. It's just that the timing is so bad. So when you get up in the morning, it'll be 48. We're headed up to about 62 tomorrow and on Sunday with 1 to 2 inches of rain.
All right, thank you, Jim. All new tonight, COSI getting a 6-figure grant for early education, and they celebrated the best way they know how, of course, with a big experiment.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you can see the celebration behind us. Eventually, there'll be a giant cloud. And that new grant money comes from the PNC Foundation. COSI will receive $200,000. The other money, $150,000, will benefit Future Ready Columbus. There's that cloud. The goal is to help young kids, their families, and early childhood teachers invest in kids' futures. A big push at a young age can make a world of difference for a child.
90% of brain development happens by the time that child enters that kindergarten door. And kindergarten readiness scores predict their third grade reading score. It predicts whether or not that child is going to graduate from high school or whether they're going to be able to go on for an additional degree or credential. And it really sets the picture for what that lifelong trajectory of success is going to be. So we have to get it right in those first 5 years.
Future Ready Columbus plans to use this grant to help low-income families with childcare. COSI will use the grant money towards STEM-based learning at nearly every preschool classroom within Columbus City schools. In total, the PNC Foundation plans to give $500 million to groups connected to early childhood success.
Facebook making a major change to its app amid concerns of fake news. The new tab being added that could also include ABC6.
Harvey Weinstein walks into a bar and is confronted by several women. The message from a comedian who saw him in the back and the reaction she didn't expect to receive.
I seen a bird sitting along the edge of the road and never thought too much about it.
But that bird almost ended up in his truck. It was a close miss, but another animal was left behind. That big surprise at 5:45. It's time that you open up the Facebook app. It's the company's long talked about news tab. Facebook has teamed up with several TV, print, and digital networks to try and fight fake stories and posts. For now, this is a test only available to about 200,000 people. As the news tab expands, though, Facebook plans to incorporate trusted local sources like ABC6.
A man in Kansas ends up with an aquatic surprise that his neighbors never thought possible. The animal he couldn't believe ended up stuck in his truck.
I can't imagine not coming in and making biscuits every single day.
And we'll introduce you to an 18-year-old girl who's already a baking pro, how she turned her passion into a jumpstart for a new career.
Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by G&J Pepsi.
She was released from federal prison in California a few days early. Huffman served 11 days of that 14-day sentence. She pleaded guilty to mail fraud and conspiracy after admitting to paying $15,000 to help illegally boost her daughter's SAT score. She's one of the highest profile celebrities in the Varsity Blues college admissions scandal, the same one affecting actress Lori Loughlin.
And tonight, video involving disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein is going viral. It shows him being confronted by several women during a charity event. Now take a look at this video. Weinstein has been accused of sexual harassment, assault, or rape by more than 80 women since 2017. He went to that event at a bar and sat in the back. The comedian on stage noticed Weinstein and started to incorporate him into her set.
I've literally had nightmares about Harvey Weinstein the same way that I have nightmares about It by Stephen King or Freddy Krueger. That was the most triggering experience I've had in a long time. It was really, it was jarring. It felt very personal to me.
That comedian says she is a sexual assault survivor herself and was surprised when some people actually booed her. Weinstein has kept a low profile since those accusations first came to light. He has pled not guilty and says any sexual encounters were consensual. Other women who confronted Weinstein at the bar were escorted out.
A man in Kansas is sharing a story that really doesn't seem possible in the middle of the Midwest. You know, he's saying that he hit a fish with his truck and it ended up stuck in his grill.
This is a very interesting story. Now, this guy says that he was driving when he saw a bird sitting along the edge of the road. Okay, got that part of the story. And here's what he says happened next.
He took off, the wind was blowing, and he hit the front of my pickup and came up, and I thought it was going to break the windshield out, and he went on over the top finally.
How about that? Crisis averted, right? Well, not so fast. It wasn't until he got home that he noticed the bird left its lunch behind.
I went out to move the pickup about 2 hours later. Well, I thought, what's that sticking out of the grill of that pickup? And it was this 12-inch bass.
I'm trying to see it. William says he couldn't believe a fish was stuck in his car. So he had to get his neighbors out to confirm that he wasn't hallucinating. He's actually glad it was only a fish, you know, because he says he's hit 2 deer before, and this caused a lot less damage.
I tell you what, he could have used it for lunch himself,
Exactly.
potentially. You never know.
Could have been cooked already, too.
Yeah, I like that. Well, several cities in central Ohio will be holding trick-or-treating events this weekend. And to get you in the Halloween spirit, we're showcasing some of your cutest chime-in photos.
Yeah, take a look. This one's from Lucas. He sent us a picture of his little Superman. It's impressive. An 18-month-old has the powers of super strength, flight, and even heat vision.
All right, how about this adorable Elmo sitting with some pumpkins there? Daniel shared this pic with us from Boo at the Zoo.
You need to get your baby picture, your baby's picture.
I know.
She was Wonder Woman, right?
Yes.
And she won a prize?
We're going to pull an audible here. I'm going to let you read that.
Okay.
I got something planned here.
A reminder, this weekend is your last chance to head to Boo at the Zoo. You can open up the ABC6 app, search for Boo at the Zoo. You'll find a coupon for buy one, get one, free admission. That's fantastic. And then use the app to submit your best pictures and videos through Chime In for your chance to see them online and on TV. And who doesn't want to be on TV?
And I have to pull an audible here, so Alex, don't kill me. Camera 2, can we get a tight shot of this phone?
She is so cute.
My little baby Alexandra, who won the Halloween contest in Upper Arlington last night. Can we get a photo of this? Is this too small? Look at that.
Oh, look at the baby.
My little Wonder Woman.
She is so cute.
So she won her first Halloween contest.
She's
not her last.
Not her last. We're excited. And actually, as a family, we're planning to dress up for Halloween next week.
Are you?
So that's just a tease. It will be funny, I'll tell you that. I can guarantee
You're not going to tell us what you're going to go as?
No, it has to be a surprise. I'll give you this much, though. It will be edgy.
Oh,
as in the edgy noon
we
show.
might have to showcase you on the noon show there. Yeah. Do you dress up for Halloween? I don't usually.
No, I look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with
my gosh.
costumes.
Don't say that.
No.
So not a good weekend if you're going out trick-or-treating this weekend because we have a storm. There's the storm. It's just to the south of New Orleans. It became a tropical storm at about 5 o'clock this afternoon. A tropical storm at the end of tropical storm season. That's only going to add to the moisture streaming north to the Great Lakes for the weekend. Up to 8 inches of rain in the Mississippi River Valley, 4 inches to the west of us in Illinois and in Indiana. So that's really going to foul up the weather this weekend over much of the eastern half of the country, including for the Buckeyes. 56 at kickoff, 62 at postgame. Should be raining both of those times. The wind actually increases during the evening and overnight as that storm Olga gets closer to us and reaches the Chicagoland area. And the temperatures will actually still be 62 by 8 o'clock at night. Rain should come to an end during the day on Sunday. Temperatures not much different than Saturday, except much warmer in the morning. There's our pretty view of central Ohio. We have 60 degrees, a northwest breeze at 6. Everybody's close to 60 except Canton and Bucyrus at 53. And the hour-by-hour forecast only drops us into the upper 40s tonight. Clouds, 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 clouds. They do stay in the weather picture. They're there right now. Rain primarily south of the Ohio River. But watch what happens. Here's daybreak tomorrow. Very heavy rain along the Ohio River. The focus of the extreme rains are going to be to the west of us. We'll have showers developing during the Buckeyes game. A break in the late afternoon to early evening. Still raining hard to the west of us. And then a front sweeps through, maybe even with a couple of rumbles of thunder during the overnight hours here, Saturday night into Sunday morning, before this storm quickly moves away. So how much rain? Well, with tropical systems, it can be a lot. Notice by noon, we're still on the edge of the rain for us here in central Ohio. And thankfully, although we're in a drought, we could use the rain, a ½ inch to an inch around here, but 2 to 5 inches of rain. Carbondale, Illinois, 5 inches of rain from Tropical Storm Olga. 47 overcast, damp tonight. During the day tomorrow, we're looking at 62 with near constant rain in the afternoon with some breaks later in the day.
And the extended forecast, it turns much, much colder by the time we get to the ending part of next week.
Thank you, Jim. A dramatic arrest caught on camera. What really took this woman down? Tonight at 6:15.
And making a difference one haircut at a time, how this school district is helping one of their own in her fight against cancer.
Plus video showing a crash that injured a group of students on the south side. A closer look at what it reveals at 6. To a bright and brilliant career.
Alexis Moberger introduces us to a girl mixing her classes with baking cakes.
For most high schoolers, SAT prep and homework are their big top priorities. But for one 18-year-old, she found her passion pretty early on. She's now executing it one bite at a time. Early in the morning, the Avenue is pretty quiet. That is until you step behind the kitchen. There you'll find head pastry chef Kelsey Souders.
I'm about to make our chocolate cake.
And if you've tasted one of her cakes, you would guess she's been baking for decades. But really,
I'm 18. I just turned 18 about 2 months ago.
So how does a high schooler go from studying to icing? Simple. After her sophomore year at Groveport Madison High School, she enrolled in the Career Center. After that, she put her name in the Cameron Mitchell application pool.
I applied for the dishwashing position. It wasn't even like I applied for the kitchen. It was just getting my foot in the door.
We had no choice but to say yes.
And as the Avenue's executive chef says, the decision was easy.
She demonstrated her passion and her drive immediately, and we focus more on hiring great people who are going to be able to deliver that genuine hospitality as opposed to somebody who's coming in with years of
I
experience.
was like, I'm still in school, like I'm still in high school, and she was like, just come in at nights. You can do it at nighttime for the next day, and we'll work around your schedule. And I was like, this is not happening. Like, this is crazy. I was like, no way, not happening.
Kelsey now bakes several goodies, desserts, and cakes almost daily. But she still remembers baking her very first cake like it was yesterday.
Horrible. Very, very bad. But I don't know, I just continued to go on from there and I continued to improve.
But now her hands move almost as if it was choreographed. And with each stroke, dollop, and slice. She says she'll never take the opportunity for granted.
I can't imagine not doing this every single day. I can't imagine not coming in and making biscuits every single day.
Alexis Moberger, ABC 6 News.
Next at 6, a deeper dive into hazing allegations against OU fraternities and sororities. How the university is responding tonight.